ADHD is attention deficit or hyperactivity disorder, and this can be diagnosed in children as early as the age of 7. Some of the signs are silent and disruptive in class, as well as home, and can't sit still for whatever reason or length of time. And parents can see this in the children, as well as teachers can see it also in children at school. And the way how it can be diagnosed is the psychologist at school, the mom, can ask for a psychological evaluation on the child, as well as the child can be taken to a pediatrician's office, and they can also relate their findings to the pediatrician. The pediatrician will in turn give a certain battery of tests that the parents have to do, as well as give 2 of those tests, which are called Connors and Vanderbilt assessment tests, and they have to be 2 sets have to be given to 2 teachers for the child, and all the assessment have to be done there, as well as the parents also have to fill out 2 sets, both parents are involved in the child's life. When those are completed, it is then scored on the Connors form for both male and female, depending on the sex of the child. When this is done, then the physician will do his assessment that way, bring in both parents, and with that evaluation, with the psychological testing that's done, then he will make his assessment of what's wrong with the child. The child is given medication if it's warranted. They're given medication based on, there are different types of medication that can be given to the child, and it's started on a low dosage, and it can be increased or it can be decreased. Depends on the dosage that's given, as well as the one that insurance companies will cover for the child. Some of the medications that are given and are prescribed are the Trana patch, which I have a sample of here, and this is done by the Shire company, and this can be placed on the arm. It can be placed on a portion of the stomach. It can be placed on the side. It also can be placed on the back of the patient. And you have, just with any medication, you have to watch for rashes. You have to watch for an increase in hyperactivity also, because that can also be a side effect of the patch. There's also the tablet form that can be given to the child, nothing in liquid, but the tablet form is just the Tara, Concerta, Adderall, Ritalin that can be given, and those come in different dosages, and sometimes the children also have to take them at different times per day. You have long-lasting, you have, time release, and some children do very good with them. Like I said, dosage have to be increased on some and decreased on some based on the symptoms the child might be having when they're taking medication. They also say that nutrition is also good, which is eliminating sugars from some sugars from a certain amount of sugars from the diet of the child, as well as the area the child lives in, and testing can be done for minerals, for like lead in the children's blood, blood system, and certain things that they eat to eliminate that, and like I said, the living environment for the child. In some cases, there's a lot of families that do not accept when the child has been diagnosed with ADHD, and that's something that's hard. In my office that I work out of, I have seen that a lot of patients can't handle that. A lot of families have also been broken up because one parent or another can't handle this, what's going on with the child. A lot of children that have been diagnosed with the ADHD, it comes from either side of the family, whether the mother or the father. Somewhere down the line, there's a family member that has had some type of mental issues or hyperactivity issues that was even never diagnosed, but it could be in the genes also. And like I said, a lot of families, it's hard for them to accept it. Sometimes have to be called to school. I've gotten phone calls, like I said, this is a work experience for me. I've gotten phone calls where parents are crying on the phone, especially the moms that call in because they want to keep the kids out of school, because they cannot handle the kids in school because of the disruptive behavior that they're having. With this, some of them are on medication and some of them are not. Some parents choose not to put the kids on medication because of the side effects that might happen. Not saying that it would, but they don't want to take a chance on that. But in other words, they still can't handle the kids being tried to be, put out of school to the school system because they're disrupting the class. Sometimes they come around and sometimes they don't. They try to do it for the long haul, of having the kids not medicated, you know, because sometimes with that medication also, kids are just like they're sitting there, they're not doing anything, they lose their appetite, you know, even their growth has been stunted, you know, they're not growing like they should for their age and all of that, from short stature. Some of them become anorexic, they wouldn't eat, and some of them would just sleep all day, you know, and with other children, they will be there and they can function right in class, because also they have found the right type of medication to put together. So many of them out there, you know, so it's that trial and error with medication on the kids. You know, you try one thing that doesn't work, the parents come back, they try for a month, it doesn't work, then the doctor will come in, and then, you know, they'll come into the doctor, and then they will put them on different medication, you know, and see if that works. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's all like trial and error for them. But a lot of kids have benefited from it, and a lot of them are doing fine. You know, it's in school, you know, in activities, they're able to function in activities, and a lot of parents are, you know, agreeing with that out there. And medication, like I said, even though a lot of people don't agree with it, the medication does help. So that's my speech on ADHD.